Welcome to our talk. My name is Cansu and this is Anna. And I myself, we've been working together in Innovation Labs team, and we've been working with many teams and many different customers all around Europe. We traveled a lot together with our backpacks with us. That's why we wanted to put these pictures. We've been helping organizations to build platforms that fit for their purposes, coaching the teams while they embark on a journey to become a high-performing platform teams. And we basically want to talk about this today based on our field experiences. But first, let's quickly talk about what we mean when we say platform. And actually, Evan Butcher, who's a great technical leader, inspired a lot of people in this field, said this better. So I'm going to just repeat what he said about platforms. So a digital platform is a foundation of self-service APIs, tools, services, knowledge, and support, which are arranged as a compelling internal product. And this is what we mean when we say platform. Okay.
Cool. Another inspiration that we have for this talk is the book Team Topologies and their definition of platform teams. So that digital platform that Cansu just mentioned, organizing the compelling internal product, is built by the teams that are responsible for the platform. So those teams are enabling and accelerating software delivery. They provide tools and services for infrastructure and infrastructure to support the software development teams, other engineering teams, data science teams, anybody who is using platform. They also streamline processes and reduce manual effort. Their focus is on internal customers, i.e. engineering teams. They work closely with them. They foster open communication and knowledge sharing in the space of platform. They collaborate with those development teams. They ensure that the platform they build is reliable, scalable, and secure. So that's the platform teams we are going to talk about. And finally, the final inspiration that we've been using in our approach is by Marty Kagan. He is like a really known name in the product world. He wrote many books, including The Empowered. And we are really, really fond of his definition of high-performing product teams. These are the teams that are focusing on delivering value to the customers. So they do fully understand the needs and the pain points of the customers. They are cross-functional teams, so they bring the capability in product management, user experience, design, engineering, etc., in order to be able to build the right product. They are empowered to make decisions, so they are trusted to with their judgment. So they are given problems to solve, not the solutions to implement. They practice continuous discovery, and they understand more about the customers by exploring more and more about them, and they use data that they gather from that discovery in order to make decisions. And of course, everything that they do is outcome oriented, is connected to business outcomes. One thing that really resonated with me from that book is the people who are working in high-performing product teams are missionaries because they've got the mission to serve the customers. They are not the mercenaries to just sign up for work to get it done and check out for the day. So these are the three inspirations that we use in our approach.
So with that in mind, for high-performing platform teams, from a platform team perspective, it requires a mindset change. Today, we are not talking about a platform that is just, some tech combined together to make something work, or like something that is treated like a project that you build once, deliver it, and then it's finished. Now, today's platform that we talk about, it requires a product mindset and all these things that Anna just explained. It requires a product mindset and a team that has a purpose, aligned around the same mission and working towards to make their users, in our case, the internal developers, internal customers, make their lives easier and happier. So that means it requires product management capabilities that looking after business focus, looking after vision, desirability, viability, and feasibility of the platform. And it requires some capabilities that looking after developer experience, the customer experience, and it requires engineering capabilities. We need all these capabilities in a high-performing team, not necessarily roles. I mentioned about these capabilities. I mentioned as capabilities because a high-performing platform team means like a cross-function required teams that has these all and focusing on the product success criteria. So it requires this looking after product mindset, bringing the product mindset into the team.
Indeed, and when we have the product mindset, we need the right product approach, which we found in adopting this Mobius loop, which comes from the outcome delivery community initially. That's something that we've been using a lot in our work. We will explain a little bit more at the end of the presentation how much we contributed to building it and so on. But at this stage, we just want to give you a little bit of overview how we use it. So the idea is that the teams who are embarking on the journey to build an amazing platform as a product, they will practice continuous delivery. So they will go on that left-hand side loop, trying to understand what is the why behind the platform, who are the people that are going to use this platform, what are the problems, what are they trying to solve. Then they will try to understand what are the priorities, what problems should be solved then first. Then they will come with the list of the options. And once they understand what are the highest priorities, the biggest pain, they start to deliver. So they continue on delivery, building things, validating them with the users, getting their feedback, measuring, learning from that, and they continue delivering until they solve the problem. Or if the circumstances change, they pick up the new problem and so on. In order to maintain sustainable pace for their journey, though, they need a lot of foundation. So they need to be supported by the solid set of practices that provide the culture of collaboration, and also technical excellence. Thanks, gentlemen. Now we can move on.
I thought that more. Yes.
No worries. Okay, so as we said with Mobius, it starts with the why. So it starts with the clear vision for your platform. It starts like when we embark on this journey, we have to think about why are we building this platform? What is it going to simplify? What is it going to enable us to do? What are the actual problems we are going to solve? What are the benefits for our business? Some of the example from one of our ideation session about the platform purpose are here about like saving time, saving money, keeping the head of digital happy. That's also for some people important purpose, and also thinking about how do we empower business developers with sustainable services. So that's the platform. Once we have a good mission and purpose for the platform defined, we can then help the platform teams embark on their mission. Missionaries versus mercenaries, right?
Exactly. So we want to talk about the importance of this ownership, having a well-defined platform mission and the identity. So starting with why provides us a clear purpose, and clear purpose, clear mission guides teams' decisions and priorities. So everyone understands what the platform is trying to achieve, why it exists, and this eliminates confusion that may arise within the team and, sort of eliminate the wasted efforts. And aligning on the mission, agreeing on a mission that the team can get behind is a great way to boost the sense of ownership. So for example, on this left-hand side, when we were working with a customer in Norway, our product owner from the platform side comes up with a mission definition for the platform team based on the organization's vision. And as a team, we got together and understand what that means when we say things like simplifying and guiding and accelerating development teams. And we spent time on this discussing if there is any change that needs to be introduced. That's why you have two pictures, one that platform owner introduced, and as a team we discussed and update and add more clarification. And when the team sort of align on the mission, this created our guiding principles for the platform. So these guiding principles help us to make sure that whatever we do is helping us to getting us closer to this mission. So that allowed the team to take initiative and actually innovate, so that we can start experimenting with some new features and make decisions without actually needing external approval. And that's the distinction between that Anna was mentioning, the mercenary versus missionary. We have the clear mission. We have our guiding principles, which boost our ownership, and that help us to help the team to feel more empowered on working on towards the platform. Another thing to actually increase the sense of ownership that we find helpful is to have a nice team name or team logo. So on the right-hand side, this colorful bridge, it is coming from Norse mythology, based on an engagement we've done in Denmark. So we were in Denmark, lands of Vikings, and we were building a platform that is we were building a data platform, taking all these data coming from different endpoints and sensors and delivering that data in a more structured way to the data scientists. So the team decided to put the name of this platform Bifrost, which means it's a bridge that bringing the two worlds, bridging the two worlds together, from the God's world to the earth. So using that kind of name helped us to actually improve the sense of ownership, and help the team to be more invested in the success of platform. And that name caught up real quickly, and everyone knew in the organization, and everyone was mentioning that, like, can Bifrost do this, or like, how is Bifrost going, and this kind of discussions. It's really made the team feel really more invested in the success of the platform.
Right. So it's also important to understand where we operate in the ecosystem. So when we do the discovery for the platform, we also want to understand who are the teams we are going to work with, who are the people that are going to use the platform, who are the decision makers, who care for it to succeed, who might be people who are not really happy with that. Sometimes people are afraid of change if they don't understand anything, so we try to understand the motivations. We want to understand who can help us get the platform, get it right. And also we want to understand how to win the trust of the people who don't really initially trust. We want to understand what are the boundaries of the platform. So the initial stakeholder analysis can help us build the idea of the ecosystem, but for the boundaries of the platform, we use multiple practices from domain-driven design, for example, things around bounded context. We want to see if, when we build the platform, whether it's just one platform team, maybe there are multiple platform teams, etc. We also use some value stream mapping to understand value streams within the platform and outside the platform, just to give you the brief idea of what can be used to get to that point. But most importantly, as I said, the first thing is about who is going to use the platform, who are the users, and how to win those users is something that Cansu is going to tell us a little bit more about.
It's going through the understanding the users. So platform teams need to put themselves in the shoes of their users and build empathy with them. Because when platforms focus on the developer experience, they can identify pain points and working towards removing them. Because we want them to use our platform and enjoying while using it. And actually, maybe some of you thinking that the platform that you are using at the moment is not an option, but is like the only platform that you can use. But platform teams still need to have this mindset that approaching the platform as a product, and products are optional. So we need to build our platform in a way that they can the developers want to use it, actually, and that is what Evan Bocher meant with compelling internal product, because we want our developers to use it with a good feelings, like to have, and because happy developers basically are more productive developers, and we are here to make them more productive. So there are some practical tools you can use to build empathy between platform teams and the users, such as empathy mapping, as in the name. It's the practice coming from human-centered design. And you can have these user interviews. They're super helpful, like defining a set of questions, understanding a developer's daily life, like how they would like to consume a service, how they would like to, get the platform updates. If they have a magic wand, what they would change in a platform. So these kind of things help us to understand developers' daily life and their daily challenges. Another thing you can do is to build some user journeys together with some scenarios like onboarding a new service or onboarding a new team member of a development team, getting a sandbox environment. So all these practices help platform team to understand developers more, like speak the same language better and understand their needs, which will actually bring us the question of too many asks, like too many things we can bring into the platform, but where we should start.
That's a very good point. We need to be able to build that sustainable platform that scales well, but we also need we cannot build everything at the same time because we just never deliver anything. So once we understood, once we completed our our discovery, we are now getting to the point where we get, of that Mobius group, somewhere in the middle where we get all the options. And here it's super important to stay focused and prioritize. Prioritize things based on the value. So all the decisions should be based on what value are the users going to get from that. So some of the practices that can be used in prioritization are things like, for example, metric-based process map. It can help us identify the bottlenecks, and we can address the bottlenecks of the platform that make the onboarding process longer, that make the time to production longer, etc. We can use values to user story mapping is the way to categorize the items we want on the platform and then organize them in the priority order. Ultimately, we want to get to the point like we are with the product. We know some outcomes that we want to deliver in the next quarter, in the next release cycle, and then what constitutes the fully usable value for the people that are going to use the platform. So this is the slice, and then we transfer that slice into the product backlog for our platform. And that will usually contain things that are around the foundation of the platform and around the support and maintenance for the platform. It's important for that to also involve things. How are we going to evolve the platform? It's never static. The technology evolves all the time. And also, we need to enable our users. We need to advocate. We need to evangelize the platform. So all of those activities should be part of the product backlog. So these are the two tools that we use a lot: value slices, story maps, and product backlog for the platform, in order to understand the priorities in the right order and get to the point where we can start building.
Yeah, we need to build that. Now, these all the work that we discover creates our backlog. Now that we start developing, and we need to get the feedback from developers that can, highlight their pain points or like suggest improvements to these platform APIs and documentations, etc. When we start actually start delivering this thing, start building this thing. And one question that we see, one part that we need to address is that how can I create an environment where I invite my end users, my stakeholders, my organization to give feedback to me. I started building something, and I need to know, as a team, we need to know that we are on the right track, or we are really bringing something valuable, and like we are making an impact in developers' life. So these things are actually nothing new that we put in here. We see these in open source world all the time, like release early, release often, share what you've been working on, what is done, like share these things in a way that's the value that you are adding to the users. Like this could be sharing a new feature, could be some things you've done in order to improve reliability, and share your roadmap, like what's coming. Like on the left-hand side, there's this email that we've been doing with this organization while delivering new features to the platform. We were sharing an email, and towards the end, if you look at it, we are also inviting them to bring their questions or like a request, and our product owner was sending this email whenever there's a new release of the of the platform. But in another country, for example, on the right-hand side, we had this open door policy where people can come and check the walls which full of post-its with our sprint backlog, with our product backlog. They can see what we are currently working on. They could sit with us and talk and share their feedbacks from the first hands. And regular showcases like sprint demos is another great way to invite feedback. And of course, the important thing is act on these feedback. So feedbacks can help really help us to understand if we're on the right track, if we need to, stop and reevaluate and act accordingly. So these are the things that a platform team can do in order to invite the feedbacks and measure the platform's success. Another way to measure the platform's success is relying on the metrics and focus on metrics that demonstrate the platform's value. One side of it, product metrics like metrics that link to business goals, like how many people, how many teams are onboarded to the platform, how easy to onboard a new team member, how long does it take to bring in a new application, deploying into the production, like this kind of metrics. Or another side is like to measure the developer productivity. As we said that we are building this platform in order to make developers' life easier. So that we need that's increasing the developers' productivity. So traditional methods to measure that, focusing on like the number of the code lines, like code commits, which they are insufficient to indicate the platform success. Approaches like SPACE, by the way, we highly recommend to read this paper, that's SPACE of Developer Productivity. This kind of approaches focusing on productivity by measuring things like user satisfactions, collaborations, efficiency, and flow. And these will help you to this will help you to see how your platform is being perceived by the end user. And lastly, the other metrics could be like resiliency, reliability metrics, like service level indicators, service level objectives, etc., to show how reliable your platform is. And all these different type of metrics can help the platform team to measure the success of the platform, where to focus next, if we need to go back to the discovery mode to understand more our users, or should we keep going should we keep going on the prioritization we had in our backlog. So measuring these things are really important and will help us to keep us track, learn more, and continue delivering the right value and the right time to the users, right? Okay.
Brilliant. So we kind of made it through the entire loop. So we talk about discovery, we talk about options, we talk about delivery, but we also mentioned that in order to make the sustainable pace for all of that, we need the solid foundation. Those foundations on the culture and collaboration that will help us build the empowered platform teams that thrive in the culture that fosters collaboration, innovation, and ownership. We want the ingredients of those teams as around clarity. They need to be enabled, they need to be autonomous, they need to be high trust and psychological safety. So we need to invest in team building exercises and clear goals, set the clear goals that everybody will understand. So one example we've got here, we've got two teams working together. So there's a platform team that has a set of their objectives for the quarter. They've got some metrics that they are going to measure, and they are building something for this mortgage team that they also have an objective. And so one of the things is like visualizing how their work is connected to the business team works, to the streamline team's works. So that's around the clarity. And if we go to the next example, we get too many pictures. They didn't all fit on the same slide. So there is a little bit more examples of those culture and collaboration practices that we've been using a lot. So another one for clarity is like visualization of work. John's already touched on that a little bit during the open door policy. So when everything that when we work with the team, we try to visualize absolutely everything, including the things that need to be done, especially the things to be done. So visualizing those really helps with better understanding. We're talking about things like team API that help the teams distinguish themselves put the frames around them, put the collaboration, the ways of collaborating with other teams, and so on. Things like team identity, where the teams can create their social contract, they can create their team logos. We also invest in team building. So here is Cansu looking super excited. What were you up to there?
It was a laser.
Okay.
I forgot a laser tag. Some game that we played with the platform team.
Yeah, so it's always important to find time for team building. In order to increase autonomy and make teams more focused on solving problems, not implementing the solutions, is also linking them to vision and mission, as Jansu already gave us some examples of Bitfos and so on. Practices around empowerment, there are things like confidence vote, making sure that the team is happy with the work that they are going to including in a given quarter or given sprint. And on code is the practice that we really love when it comes to empowerment. We've been using this really squeaky chicken in loads of our engagements. You can see that chicken here in different forms. It's basically making sure that everybody in the team has the voice. Regardless of the role and experience, they can pull the random cord at the moment when they feel that the team is derailed, that they are not following the journey to the goal, and that really helps. And another thing important to make space for outside of team building is space for learning, continuous learning to enable the team. Jansu is going to tell us a little bit more about that in a moment.
Yeah. So as Anna said, that this foundation layer is really important for us, and team culture, keeping a team feeling is one part of it, and another part is the technical excellence. Because if we do not invest things like automation, automated testing, or observability or reliability, we may not able to sustain a healthy pace of delivering the value, delivering new feature to our users as it's at the beginning. If we keep bringing the tech debt with us, not doing the manual work, that will sort of like catch us in the near future. So for that, we need to constantly invest automation, utilizing modern practices like GitOps, investing in alert tuning to not get alert fatigue, looking for standardization where possible. Based on our experience, majority of application delivery lifecycle consists on common steps for staging like testing, containerization, build, and deployment. So it is important to identify these steps and provide these things out of the box ready, like having a consistent approach. And we highly encourage pair and mob programming as well when it comes to learning. That is, this is how we work with teams. For example, mob programming is very useful when we are in an uncharted territory, let's say, like we are experimenting with a new technology that many of us not so familiar. So we mob together to learn the basics, like identify a strategy for this technology or like an architecture, how to bring it in. And then we go into pair mode to implement them. And by doing pair programming, we also distribute the knowledge, make sure the knowledge stays in the team, and so that there's no unicorn culture or like black magic that only one person knows in the team. And speaking of continuous learning, because we mentioned that technology really evolves rapidly, so we encourage continuous learning within the team. So as a team, like on the bottom left, that we need to allocate time for like exploration of new technologies and like participation in conferences or meetups or workshops like these ones, having lunch and learn sessions to invite an expert to maybe learn something new. And it is important to be open to experiments and like experimenting new tools and choosing the right tool for the right job. I added this yesterday, I guess, because I'm working with this company at the moment, and that they have a platform providing like these standard templates like golden paths, standard approaches to do how to build and deploy applications like Java or .NET applications with some specific certain tools, certain pipelines. However, I'm working with their data science teams and machine learning operations teams at the moment. And these teams have slightly different requirements, which not exactly follow the same processes of an application development approach. So the initial reaction of the team was to use the same tool set, same approach, but adding a bunch of exceptions here and there, like if it's data science, skip this step, for example. So what we did is we sat down, we visualized the processes and understand the needs and how we can address them with more, let's say, cloud native tools or like different integrations. So I think what I'm trying to say is it's important to open for experimenting the different tools and not marrying one standard way that you come up at the beginning, because we've been saying that platform is a product and the product evolves and new features comes or like new requests comes, and it is important to be this learning team, like having that mindset open. So that's also an important part of a platform team. And lastly, I really, really would like to mention about this because we are true believer of the power of open source, and we know that what open source can bring, can create with the collaboration, collaboration with different peoples from different all over the world together, and inner sourcing is also like a having the open source in your own organization, and platforms actually can create like facilitate this within your bringing inner sourcing to your organization, because internally leveraging like common tools, libraries across different teams is doing in the right way, you can encourage people to contribute to the platform. So all these collaborations, we talk like building empathy, showcases, visualizations, doing things openly. We see that this leads to people to actually want to become a part of shaping the platform that they daily use. Like an empowered platform team is there to enable others, and people give feedback, and platform team that do these, showing actually how things work, like enabling them, and you see that these people can start contributing back. Like this is from a customer that I worked with, and one I really enjoyed working with. Actually, I am working their t-shirt today in case some of them are around here too. This is a part of our team identity. It's coming from an Irish mythology team too. So anyway, this platform team was providing these cloud-based IDEs for their organization's developers, and in an IDE in their working environment, team was baking a bunch of configurations, the tools, CLIs, etc. the developers needs in order to do their daily work. And they've been getting requests, they've been getting like questions for this, like can we do this, can we add this as well, etc. And one day, the developer actually raised a pull request into this IDE's image definition repository to say, I need this, we as a team, we need this. Can you also include that? And a platform team commented on it, accepting their pull request. So this seemed small, a developer raising a pull request to add one tool, but actually that's a really big step towards the inner sourcing, because by doing this in the right way, doing this in an open and collaborative way, you invite people, and people actually want to become a part of shaping the platforms that they use. So that really was really a happy moment for us, actually. So inner sourcing is also like a next step. Is somewhere down the road is something that you can see in your own organization as well, and becoming a learning organization that working collaboratively all together by utilizing sharing the good practices, learning from each other, having a transparent platform development approach. So that's also very, very nice. To tie all together, Anna, we are out of time.
Yeah, so hopefully that we achieved our goal of giving you a little bit of a practical guide to how we work with the high-performing platform teams. So just to bring it together, yeah, it's everything that you try to do is a journey. It's important to make sure that the discovery is continuous, the delivery is continuous, and there is a solid foundation. It's not a repetitive model. Every team will have their own dedicated Mobius loop. We are using this repository called Open Practice Library, where it's actually structured around the Mobius loop. You will have a link in the slides we share. But it's important to adapt the tools, as Cansu mentioned in the previous slide, talking that find the right tools for the job. So it's important to understand the context, but choose the right practices that match your current circumstances, match your team. And it's important to stay within the frame of our other inspiration that we have here. It's from the book The Drive by Daniel Pink. He's talking about the things that really motivate us is autonomy, mastery, and purpose. So giving those teams the purpose, the product vision for your platform, helping them achieve the technical excellence, the mastery, the things that they really are proud of, and giving them autonomy to solve problems is really where the nirvana is. So good luck with your journeys, and hopefully you can get there. Hopefully our session was useful for that. And now I think we are going to answer some tough questions.
Yeah.
Look, they are really grilling us, Cansu, here, so you better get ready.
I think I'm stopping sharing now because okay. Thanks for listening, I guess.
Thank you so much. It was really, really cool. I really loved your slides. I told you guys that they came up with something worthwhile. So let's get to questions. And we already have 6 questions in the Q&A. Thank you for putting it in the Q&A because sometimes people put in chat as well. So now we have it already 7, very clean. So I'll read out the question and feel free to chime in, whoever feels like answering it. So the first question is, shiny new feature request from a single developer. I understand that building it right into platform is not the best idea. Yet, how to deal with requests like this? The single developer is still a customer who needs this feature for some bloody reason.
That's a good one. It's like, we're not saying not to build that feature. It's more like about drive your decisions based on the value. It might not be something that is going to benefit a bigger group. So the platform is there to streamline processes within your organization. So you always need to do a trade-off. What's important at a given point of time? Are you going to build this one feature that's going to help one developer deliver fairly an important application just because he would like to get that, or are you going to enable the team that's going to deliver through the channel that's going to deliver a revenue or something? So it might come to the fact that you will end up building that feature at some point, but it's not the most important thing that you're going to do. Or maybe that feature is actually the thing that's going to be a breakthrough and is going to deliver enable the business teams to do whatever they wanted to do. So it's always trying to understand better context, prioritization, and linking it to the value and the objectives that the business is trying to achieve.
Exactly what Anna said.
You get the next one.
Right, then Cansu is answering the next one. Yeah. How do you identify value in your stories? Is it quantified?
Is it quantified? Yeah, so in the stories, what we usually is like in the Scrum, we come up with these acceptance criteria to understand, like, well, initially as a team, we need to be aligned on like what this story is about, like why we are building this. So what's the actual value that we are bringing. So it is more about like at the beginning, I think understanding the reasoning behind of that story, and so
the
that
target outcomes.
Yeah. So like, is it helping us to get us to closer to the mission, or is it really aligning with our outcomes, what we want to achieve with the platform? And when it comes to quantify, I think every stories that we deliver is like needs to be, we need to understand like when we actually delivered that story, when we reach the when we can say that, okay, this story is done, it is usually as a discussion with the PO about like we want to see this in the end, like maybe testing with real users, or maybe come up with some metrics to track that over the time to see if we really hit the goal. But I guess it is typical consulting answer about like it depends, like it's more about the conversations, Kevin, and like agreeing with the team about like how to deliver this and how to verify with the actual end users.
I would also add to that the value evolves with the life cycle of the platform. Initially, at the beginning of the journey, the value will be about anything that giving even the platform foundations and so on. So those things are very difficult to quantify. As you start getting more mature as a platform team and you enable certain business teams, it might actually get monetary value that if we get that feature, we will be able to make this amount of revenue, etc. So it does evolve with time.
Nice. How to scale up collaboration with developer teams when there are 5 teams, 10 teams, and then 80 teams?
Yeah, so
I think
collaboration.
you already answered that one, Cansu. Inner sourcing.
Yeah, but also like we keep talking about collaborations, but be aware that collaboration is expensive. So at the beginning that we are um, working like more closer with the developer teams who can bring us insight, who can really jump onto this platform that is just at the beginning of its journey and like being our first guinea pigs, like test users, etc. But actually the point of platforms. The focus should be on the platforms, as Evan Bocher defined, is to deliver self-service APIs, and platforms should be intuitive. Like when a new team is coming on board into the platform, they should actually figure things themselves. It should be as easy as possible to, deploy their applications, maybe just reading some documentations, but the mindset should be like building it in a way that like it's as easy to, just get a iPhone or like a cell phone and able to use it. So when the platform getting more and more like evolving, actually you're not gonna interact with 80 teams or like more teams. Actually, you will deliver some endpoints, you will deliver some services by some screens, but it is going to be more self-service, more intuitive. Right? Nothing to add, Anna?
We'll still add inner sourcing because like
Yeah.
it obviously we want to provide the service that's amazing, but in order to collaborate with more and more people, building the community, building inner sourcing and being able to kind of it helps you with adoption of the platform, but it also helps with changing the way of thinking and improving collaboration, because once you have your advocates, then they are doing your job. You don't need to collaborate. You've got people that you enable and they're helping you out.
Great. Let's move forward to the next question. What struggles did you face trying to get this implemented? How do you deal with pushback from upper management on implementing a new type of approach?
That's an interesting one. So typically when we try to do something like that, we need to work with the upper management. They are the ones that we would like to invite to the room. We've got often a CIO or CTO in the room with the team to clarify the vision. Like if they are not on board with that, it might not succeed, I'm afraid. So we need to win their hearts before we can implement that approach. And we do that by trying to connect whatever the platform team is going to do to business goals, trying to show them how the business is going to benefit, how it's going to scale, how its business agility is going to improve if they are using this approach. So we've been using a lot of team topologies, ways of working with that, and the leaders can usually see how the right team topologies, how the right setup can help them. So that's when we want to win them. And then we ask them to help us win the hearts of the teams. I'm not sure if that fully answers your question.
And I think that's why the metrics we mentioned, like product success metrics are important, like how much we decrease the going into production cycle, or how it was faster to onboard new teams or new applications to the platform, or like shifting left to security, how we enabled this with the platform, and these kind of things. They are gonna sometimes like showing but not telling is really also a short way to convince them, like doing some things and then convincing them that look, this helped by this percentage, or like decrease like this, and it'll help to get their buy-in as well.
Nice. When you talk about allocating time for experiment or learn new techs, is this a block time, like every Friday afternoon or on the spot? How do you balance time when you estimate a product in 3 months and leadership want to do it in 2, or people leave the company and do not want to update the release date?
That is a tricky one, because the dales set in stone and the scope set in stone are really the things that is very difficult to work with. But ultimately, the teams need to learn. So we build some of the tasks into the delivery for the sprint. So very often when we work, we've got the sprint goal, and we pick up the most complex product backlog items as the things where we use the mob programming, where we just basically learn from while doing the work. So that's one way of learning. We also try to make sure that we work with people, we pair them on their aspirations, we pair them to work together on their gaps, to kind of make sure that the capability gets transferred. And also, like, we want people to get out of their own silos and work with whatever interests them. So they are learning on the job. But what you said, like put in the dedicated blocks for innovation, that also happens. But yeah, it depends on the organization. It depends on the context.
But that's a good one, Anna, because we're talking about some cross-functional teams in here, and people have different expertise with some breadth of knowledge on different multiple topics, and pairing people with different expertise to help them to learn from each other based on their aspirations. Maybe some people are more into automation, some people are more into, let's say, testing, and someone wants to learn more automation, they can just pair with them and actually learn on the job, as you say. So that's also one way to do this.
Sorry, I missed my unmute button. Does it make sense to divide the platform team in subgroups according to the control planes in the reference architecture? How many people for each group?
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna do that talk, like streamlining, not streamline platform team?
That's something that we've been trying to do with Cansu. It's basically what we believe is like stream aligned teams. So the same applies to the platform. The platform, if it's more complex than just one platform team, we would advocate to divide it into like independent streams that deliver bits of the value bits of the platform. And that kind of makes sense to do some sort of bounded context exercise to understand where is that area where the team can deliver end to end the functionality of the platform. Because if you have some architectural components, you are basically creating a massive dependency. I'm not sure if that's what the question implies, but I would be afraid in the situation where one team has to wait for the other team to build something in order to be able to deliver something else. So trying to find a little bit more logical streams of value within that platform is something that we've been advocating to our teams.
This defining the bounded context, like the delivering one value per team, so that there is no hard dependency between the teams. So one platform team can deliver something and expose it as an API, maybe another team can consume, another platform team consume it in order to achieve something else as well, but like not like a day-to-day collaboration type work, but identifying the bounded contexts are important there. And maybe the event storming type activity from domain-driven design can help you to actually figure out what kind of bounded context you may have. So maybe you would like to check that out.
Yeah, makes sense. Does the rigor of documentation change the size of the team?
What does rigor of documentation change?
I think that the question is like, if you need to create a lot of technical documentation, would you have different size of the team? Well, potentially, if you need to create documentation, you might have some people dedicated to create documentation. Although we do believe, like in writing documentation as you code, in just good enough for another person to be able to understand how to use things. But I can understand sometimes you might need to produce, like for the end users, you might need to produce additional documentation. So potentially you might need to have some technical writers and so on the team to produce those documents. Is that what the question is about, or?
Maybe.
Yeah, Ethan, you can confirm in the chat.
As Anna said, we are more favoring just like in agile work in software over like big detailed documentation. So that doesn't mean that there is no documentation, but we are more in favor of keeping a good enough documentation alongside with the code and from the user facing documentation. We aspire to do, like as I said, more intuitive platforms that like a user can start using like start consuming it without going through an extensive documentation. But if you still need to create some documentation, that is also something that if it's requires research, like how a developer would like to reach a documentation, how they would like to consume a documentation, where would they go, how do they receive how they would like to receive the updates and so on, and build the documentation based on their needs. So it depends.
I think Ethan confirmed that that's what the question was about.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't.
No, it's fine.
Yes. How do you manage tech debts? It is wise to put a single developer managing tech debts and core team manage continuous delivery and also breaking the code and delivery incomplete features most of the time due to quick release.
I guess the way we like try to not leave like any tech debt is that we usually have a definition of done for user stories, like deliver it should be like through an automated pipeline, like tested, like defined as everything as code, etc. And without meeting with that definition of done criteria, we don't actually say that this job is done, this feature is this user story is completed. So our aim is to not leave any tech debts, but let's say that there is that in that point of time there is something that we cannot resolve due to some, I don't know, lack of some technical tools or something. We definitely need to visualize this back in the backlog and bring into the sprint as soon as possible to clear that tech debt, but never like assign one person, because it's like a team responsibility and team aspire to do no, not leaving any tech debt, not create any tech debt that slow them down, but instead figuring that out within the sprint. If not, making sure that it is create additional maybe user story or like visualize one way or another and addressed as soon as possible, I would say.
Great. Which strategies do you recommend to select the right tooling?
Experimentation, by far. Experimentation is like the way to do it. So if you have a job that the tool needs to do, define the criteria, what you expect from that tool, and do it, but don't overdo it. We did have one engagement, but the whole engagement was just one big experimentation. We kind of work with the team. We really fought very hard to find the business value in that, but they were really in the mode to try to experiment with everything. But speaking seriously, you won't find what you need unless you try it. So we try to bring in experiments by time box them, clear criteria, clear time box, and then you can decide. The tool needs to be just good enough to do whatever you are trying to do. Another thing that we believe in is perfect is the enemy of good. So we want to deliver, we want to focus on business value, not to overdo it.
Good enough is important to define.
That's the job. Right. So regarding the slides, we'll share it with everyone tomorrow, latest morning. So Gabriel will share it. Don't worry. And then what would the very first thing you start with when asked to get a platform team up and running, given the scope is roughly described?
Oh, hey, Kuba, that's a good one.
I was gonna say that. Thank you.
I wonder if that's the same Kuba we worked with. The last name is the same, but hey,
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
So we would still start with some sort of like the visioning exercise. We've got the scope design, but it's the important thing is shared understanding. Who decided the scope? How they decided about it? What does the team know about it? So we would still do some sort of a kickstart discovery session to make sure that everybody is on board to understand what is the destination, how are we going to measure success, do people understand what tools we need, and so on. So we would still start with that, and then define the backlog and follow the backlog. But it's shared understanding is something that we are very strong on, and we are really passionate about it, and it's important to make sure that everybody who is going to build something knows exactly what we are doing.
Hey, Kuba. It's our turn.
It's me, yes. Great. With that, wow, we are very on time. 1 minute left before we finish this session. But thank you so much to Anna and Cansu for leading this amazing presentation. As we promised, we'll share the recording and slides with everyone who registered. Thank you so much to everyone who attended and asked questions. I really loved how engaged you were, guys. So great job. Once again, hope you join Platform Engineering Slack community in case you have any other questions after this session. Just like go to platformengineering.org and join Slack. Also, we host this platform engineering webinars weekly. And next week, we also have a session around building a minimum viable platform, as far as I remember. Yes. And yeah, feel free to check it out and see you next week. If not, hope you have an amazing rest of the week. And yeah, happy post-Easter holidays, everyone.
Thank you for having us, Maria. Thank you for
Thank
inviting
you
us.
for having us. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Bye-bye.